Peace family, Conjurequeen here. And I just had a thought. I was meditating and a thought came to me. It said, what if we are inside of our own minds? Like, what if the universe is, first of all, let's go back to the Hermetic principle, right? The law of mentalism says that all is mind, the universe is mental. So what if we are literally inside of our minds, our mind being a maze or a labyrinth, right? And we are inside of our minds trying to figure out how our mind works. We're trying to actually look at the different aspects of our mind. So what if you are just a thought, a mere little thought in your own mind, and you decided that you wanted to focus on this particular aspect of that thought, right? You wanted to have this particular experience. So everything around you is an aspect of what's going on inside of your mind, right? Because everything that you think, it is actually a material thing. The macrocosm, the microcosm, right? Kind of reminds me of that old movie in the 90s of Honey, We Shrunk the Kids. And like they became really small and they was able to see things from a different perspective. So what if we are actually inside of our own heads? And everything that we see is what's going on inside of us. Like, what if, that person that you can't stand is an aspect or a thought inside of your brain? And you got to analyze, well, why don't I like this particular thought or this particular aspect? Because everything is an aspect of you. Remember, you're inside your own head. Everything you see, whether you don't like the place that you're staying in, let's say that you're in a really dirty environment or everything around you think is dirty or contaminated or filthy, then that means that that's an aspect of your mind that needs cleansing. So what is that aspect that you deem as dirty or filthy or uncouth? What is it about that you feel like needs to be transformed or transmuted? Right? So we have to keep that in mind. Once we start to look at the universe or our mind a little bit differently, our world, we start to realize, like, you know what, I'm actually in control of this. Like, this is my mind. I'm inside of my head, and everything that I see is an aspect of me, down to the characters, the animals, the herbs, the minerals, the seasons, the spirits. Everything is an aspect of my imagination. And there literally is nothing new under the sun, because the sun, everything is in my mind, meaning that I already imagined it. Everything that's in the physical realm as we know it as 3D in this perspective as a human being, right? Everything that is in 3D, it has already been created or thought, because it had to be a thought form before it actually materialized into the physical as we know it in this form as human beings, right? Because remember, just like we have living beings inside of our bodies, like our cells, right? The neurons, the cells, the little germs, the bacteria. Like, y'all seen Osmosis Jones, right? If y'all haven't, I would definitely recommend go see the movie Osmosis Jones. It's a really good throwback movie, but it gives you a little perspective on how life is as beings inside of our bodies. They have their own, like, world inside of us, right? Living, breathing, thinking, operating beings inside of us. So imagine we being cells inside of another bigger being, our own mind. So it's like, what's that doll? It's the Russian doll. It's like a big doll, and you open it, it's another doll. You open it again, it's another smaller doll. And it just keeps opening and opening until it gets really small, right? Can't think of the name, but they call it the little Russian dolls, I think. But that's just to give you a perspective to realize that every little thing affects something else. We're all connected by a thread or a string or like a web. We're all connected. And when one aspect of us is thrown off, that throws off another aspect. That's the law of correspondence. Everything is connected. And that's how metaphysics work. Is understanding the intangible things, how things work in the invisible realm. Because if you only understand what's happening in the physical realm, then you're already a few steps behind. If you're able to know and see beyond the physical, if you can tap into the mental planes or the astral realms or the invisible worlds, the occult, right? And you're able to see things before they manifest, then you're way ahead of the game. And that's the key that a lot of the occultists and the corrupt leaders of this society or this world uses against you, because you don't know how to tap into the unseen world. They taught you that all there is to life is the physical, the seen, right? You got to see it to believe it. But in all reality, you have to already know. Don't believe, know, right? Like Morpheus told Neo. He says, don't believe you can do it. Know you can do it. And once you know, like, look, I know I could be a millionaire. I know I can transcend this human reality. I know that I can manifest whatever the hell I want. I know that if I want to freaking transport from this location to somewhere else in the world in a blink of an eye, because it is very possible. Transmutation, telekinesis, transportation, all of that is very possible. This is what they've been trying to tell us in sci-fi movies and cartoons like Dragon Ball Z. They was talking about the gods who came down to earth. They were talking about us. Come on, y'all. Like that's why I love anime, because anime, they don't filter stuff and they know who we are. They know who we are. And that's why they're way ahead of the game. Japan is so advanced. They're a very far advanced civilization, and people be sleeping on Japan. But they're like 10 to 20 years ahead of the United States. Let's keep it real, okay? But that's just my perspective. That is my thought that I was thinking today. I'm like, yo, we're inside of our own minds having our own little experience as a thought. That's all you really are, is a thought. You're a wandering thought that the great creative mind had. It said, I wonder what it'd be like if, this was happening. Or I wonder what it'd be like to be this. Or I wonder what that experience would be like to be like in this particular situation. So whether you wanted to be white, black, rich, poor, a woman, a man, a king, a peasant, like you chose this because you wanted to experience it. It was a wandering thought that the great mind had. And the great mind is you, and we're only thought. So when you see your brother or your sister in the street, realize that, oh, hey, that's one of my mental projections. That's one of my thoughts right there. Oh, let me get to know them. You know what I'm saying? Or if there's a certain thought that certain people you don't vibe with, you'd be like, something about that thought form that I don't really care about. I wonder what it is. And that's something that you need to meditate on, because that's really an aspect of you, your thought, your imagination. You created that person and you magnetized them into your reality, right? Like attracts like. And the key is to understand, how does that person or that thought form resonate with you? That's the key. Ashe. But anyway, I ain't gonna hold you, family. Don't forget to drop your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this whole idea of us being inside of our mind. I know it's a little weird, and to some people may be like, girl, what are you talking about? But like I said, my mind is always on overdrive, and I'm always thinking about the possibilities are endless. And the more you ask questions, the more answers start to come to you. It's all about asking the right questions. Ashe. But anyway, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with a friend, because you never know. Maybe this might open up somebody's mind to dig a little deeper and go down that rabbit hole. Ashe. Until next time, Conjurequeen signing out. Peace.